All right, let's talk about one of the biggest hurdles on the path to Canadian citizenship, the documents. It can feel like a maze, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down, step by step, and make it super clear.
So, you're dreaming of becoming a Canadian citizen. I mean, that's a huge deal. It's this amazing life goal, and you're so close to making it happen.
But then you look at that official checklist from the government, and yeah, it can look like an absolute mountain of paperwork. It is totally normal to feel a little stressed out by it all.
But don't you worry, we're going to build this application package together, piece by piece. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what you need to put together a rock-solid application. Okay, let's get into it. First up, charting your path to citizenship. We're going to start with what I like to call the 4 core pillars. Think of these as the foundation of your entire application. These are the absolute must-haves that every single person needs, no exceptions. Pillar number 1 is all about proving who you are and your official status in Canada. Now, you only need a good, clear copy of one of these documents. Your valid PR card is the most common, but if you've been here for a while, your old record of landing, the IMM 1000, works too, or your confirmation of permanent residence. The whole point here is just to officially show, yep, I'm a permanent resident. Okay, moving on to Pillar 2. This is about proving you've actually been living here in Canada. This one is a big deal, and you really have to get the details right. And here is the magic number you need to burn into your memory, 1,095. That's basically 3 years. You have to prove you were physically in Canada for at least 1,095 days within the 5-year period right before you apply. That's your target. So how do you prove it? Well, you can't just estimate. You absolutely must use the official physical presence calculator on the government's website. A little tip, have your passports right beside you when you fill it out so you can match your travel dates exactly to the stamps. Any little mistakes can cause delays. And here's the most critical part. You don't just use the tool online and you're done. No, you have to physically print the final summary page and include that printout in your application package. It's a mandatory step. All right, on to pillar number 3, language proof. Now, if you're between the ages of 18 and 54, you have to show you can speak and understand English or French at a certain level. The great news is, you've got options here. You can submit results from an approved language test like CELPIP or IELTS. Or if you have a degree from a university or even a high school that was taught in English or French, even if it's from outside Canada, that can work too. And of course, any Canadian high school or post-secondary education works as well. And the final core pillar, number 4. This one is so simple but so critical. It's your proof of payment. After you go online and pay your application fees, you'll get an official receipt. You have to print a copy of that receipt and put it right in your package. Please don't forget this. No receipt, no processing. It's that simple. Okay, so our 4 pillars are in place. That's your foundation. Now we're moving on to building out your personal file. These are the documents that help tell your unique story. First off, you'll need to provide copies of 2 pieces of personal ID. The choices here are pretty standard things you probably have in your wallet right now. Your passport, a driver's license, your provincial health card, or maybe your birth certificate. Just pick any 2 and make sure the copies are clear. Now, speaking of passports, listen up, because this part is super important. You need to provide photocopies of all the passports or travel documents you've used in the last 5 years. And yes, that includes any that have expired. Why? Because they use these to cross-reference the travel dates you put into that physical presence calculator. Every single page that has a stamp, a visa, or any kind of mark on it matters. All right, we have covered all the basics that pretty much everyone needs. Now let's talk about special cases. These are the documents that are more situational. You might need them, you might not. So the rules are a little bit different if you're applying for a minor, that is, someone under the age of 18. An adult just submits that standard package we've been talking about. But for a child's application, you need all of that, plus a few extras. The child's birth certificate, proof that at least one of their parents is already a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, and any legal guardianship papers if that applies to your situation. There are also a few other if this applies to you documents to be aware of. For instance, if you've changed your name for any reason, you'll need the legal proof, like a marriage certificate. Sometimes you might be asked for police certificates. And here's a big one that can trip people up. You need to show proof that you filed Canadian income taxes for at least 3 of the last 5 years. It's really worth it to take a minute and double-check if any of these apply to you. Okay, we have been through a lot of information, so let's bring it all home. For our final section, we're going to look at the complete checklist, so you can see the entire package all in one place. And here it is, your complete roadmap. You've got your identity and status document, one of those three options. You've got that all-important printed copy of your physical presence calculation. You've got your language proof and your payment receipt. Then you add your 2 pieces of personal ID, copies of all your travel documents from the past 5 years, and finally, you do that one last check for any of those special case documents. And that's it. That's the whole shebang.
You know, it can seem like a lot when you lay it all out like this. But just remember that old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And honestly, gathering these documents one by one, that's your first huge important step on this incredible journey.
So, you have the map now, you have the checklist, you know exactly what you need to do. The only question left is, what's the first step you're going to take on your journey today?